Hello and welcome to this morning time taste challenge. Um, we have two blended Scotch whiskeys. Sorry about that. Two blended Irish whiskeys. Apologies to Ireland. This is the Drumcastle. Introduced in 2016. There's part of the castle. They don't show a drum. All right. Aged for 3 years in ex-bourbon and ex-wine barrels. Produced somewhere in Ireland. Bottled in America, in Kentucky, actually, by the Sazerac Company. Or as it says on the bottle here, the Founders Company. Well, the Founders Company is an alias name for the Sazerac Company. Elegant and smooth, and it's very light, we're going to notice. And I got a good deal on this. $14.99 on sale. $14.99 on sale at Albertsons, or as they say in those British Commonwealth countries, on this, what they say, on offer. On offer. Yeah, they were offering it for a good price. Now, here's the competitor, Bushmills Red Bush. It's got a new label, but the website, if you click on the Red Bush, is showing this label, the older label. They haven't updated the website. But anyway, it's been out for 5 years. They just haven't bothered updating it. And it's aged in ex-bourbon barrels, first fill bourbon barrels. First fill means they use it for bourbon. Then the first time they fill it, after using it for bourbon, is to make this product, the first fill. Now they might fill it, refill it, hundreds of 100 times. I doubt it that many times, because that would make the barrel hundreds of years old. But some of these barrels, they will use 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 years. So it could be, 10, 15 times conceivably. There's the trademark, a copper pot still. And it's a squared off bottle, which makes it easy to ship. And it says 1608, original grant to distill. That doesn't mean this company's from 1608. The first grant, royal permission slip to distill whiskey, was issued in 1608. Bushmills didn't hit the market till 1784. Aged for a minimum of 3 years. And if you check the website, it says 4 years in ex-bourbon barrels. And that's why it's red, because bourbon, the nickname for bourbon is red liquor. And so they use a red label. And we got the greatest deal in the world on this. The greatest deal in the world at Savannah Discount. Anybody want to guess what we paid for this bottle? Runs about $24 if you go to Walmart, for instance, or Albertsons. Let's see, triple distill. They're all triple distill pretty much. I guess that's about it. And it's from Northern Ireland. Ireland is one of those countries cut into two pieces, like Korea, North Korea, South Korea. Political issues. Ireland, the Irish Republic, and Northern Ireland. Political issues. The Irish Republic, they elect their own president. Northern Ireland is still ruled by Queen Elizabeth, her government in London. Okay, in the part of the United Kingdom. All right, one of the remaining parts of the British Empire. Anyway, people say, what side do you take? None, because I don't have a horse in that race. I don't live in Ireland. I don't live in Korea. Oh, and some other places like that, the Virgin Islands, divided into two parts, British Virgin Islands and American Virgin Islands. American Samoa and Samoa, the independent part. North Dakota, South Dakota. That wasn't for political reasons. That was because it was too big to make one state. Virginia, West Virginia, political reasons. California and Baja California. See? Mexico and New Mexico. New Mexico used to be part of Mexico. About to drip. Now, Florida used to be in two parts. There used to be two Floridas, like there's two Irelands today, two parts of Ireland. There used to be West Florida, East Florida. It's a true story. But West Florida got partitioned into what? Into Florida, parts of Florida from the Apalachicola River down west to the state line with Alabama. And then the Alabama part, the Mississippi part, and Louisiana part. Yes. And I guess you could say there's two parts of Cuba, Cuba and the American-occupied Guantanamo Bay, which is perpetually leased by the United States. Can't get this pour right. And then there's Cypress Island, which is interesting because it's cut up into three political units. Cyprus, Northern Cyprus, so they both have their own president, and the British territories. They call them sovereign base areas, SBAs, sovereign base area. They're military bases, two military bases owned by Great Britain. They're not connected. And it's one of those perpetual lease things like Guantanamo Bay. They're British territories. They're owned by, they're not, you know what I'm saying? They're not military bases that they're renting. They belong to England. Okay. So you say, what was the point of all that? I was saying that because these two whiskeys come from two sections of Ireland. Irish Republic whiskey, and it is very pale. Oh, so very pale, aged 3 years. And darker, gold, but not really dark and not really red. Aged for 4 years in bourbon barrels. And of course, Florida is divided into two factions. Florida State Seminole people and Florida Gators people. And they don't like each other. But I mean, they don't have two separate governors or two separate National Guard units. They might go for that though in Florida if you actually decided to divide the state up into Florida State people and Florida Gator people with their own governor and their own militia and their own state laws and a flag. Now you might say, well, that's a bizarre way to divide up a state because of allegiance to university football teams. I know. It's bizarre how much they hate each other because I knew somebody who was that fanatical. He was like, man, I was driving through Tallahassee and I was so tired. I almost went off the road. I didn't stop. I said, well, they got hotels all over Tallahassee. Why you didn't just stop? He drove on to the next town, Crestview or something. Oh, he said, because I didn't want to stay in the same town that Bobby Bowden was in. I said, you're crazy. And then he wouldn't go to the Tulane games after 1997. Once 1997 came, because he used to go to every Tulane game with me. He said he wasn't going to go because he didn't want to be in the same building with a Bowden. Plus, he couldn't pull for Tulane anymore because they had hired one of the evil people, Tommy Bowden. My daddy used to say, he's crazy. He's crazy. I said, I know he's crazy, but he's dedicated to the Gators. All right. Now, do people in Ireland get upset over politics in Northern Ireland versus the Irish Republic? Well, yeah, because, you know, it's a country and they are and everything. I was talking to a Catholic priest one time, and I said, what about Bushmills? Oh, he said, that's Protestant whiskey. I said, okay. He was funny. It's a funny guy. And about 2 years ago, at the end of Mass, this priest, Father Terry from Ireland, was saying, well, you have your Independence Day coming up, July 4th, and I want you to tell the British to get out of my country, get out of Ireland. That you pushed them out of your country, America. Tell them get out of Ireland. And I wanted to tell him after church, I want to say, Father, don't drag your local politics into Mass. No one cares about Ireland over here, aside from going on a trip, you know, like a vacation and kissing the Blarney Stone and drinking Guinness and taking a photo and putting it on Facebook. But anybody worried about that? And probably 90% of the people in the church don't know what you're talking about. But of course, I didn't say anything because, you know, I just think it. I don't ever say it except on these videos. It was a disastrous taste challenge. Last one early this morning, Black Bush versus Drumcastle. You can go back and watch it. I'm ashamed. I'm embarrassed, really. But I said, oh man, can't believe this. I went against my first instinct. But if you got to go through that kind of Sturm and Drang, that power struggle, you know, that's telling you something about a $31 bottle versus a $15 bottle. Is it not telling you something? I'm picking up bread dough here and vanilla from the oak, I would assume. Even caramel, cereal grains, makes sense. This one over here has a lot less aromatic boldness. It's a lot more muted in the nose, and that's making me think it's a Drumcastle. But I have so little confidence at this point. I wouldn't dare even try to say like, oh, I think it's this. Let's go with the taste challenge. Doggone it. Tastes pretty standard, meaning just like stereotypical Irish whiskey. No, I mean, like, not Yorkshire whiskey, not Cornwall whiskey, not Welsh whiskey, not Isle of Man whiskey, not Jersey or Guernsey or Stark whiskey. Sark, not Stark. Tony Stark. No, I said Irish whiskey. And I'm unanimous in that. Vanilla, little dab of caramel, and cereal grains. Well, this is weird. This one seems to have more of a woody application, much more wood. Wood. You like wood? You like oak? You want to chew on a toothpick? And even, as shocking as it sounds, even seems to have a little charred oak. And that's tipping me off to the ex-bourbon barrel. I know you're thinking the same thing I'm thinking. Ain't no way after using it for bourbon, you're going to pick up char. You know that. I know that. American people know that. Yeah, I know. But for whatever bizarre reason, I'm tasting it. As illicit as that proposition sounds. Can't use the word smooth in a whiskey tasting. That's illegal. That's not allowed. It's not tolerated. You get yourself kicked out of every whiskey club and whiskey group in the world if you ever dare to say a whiskey smooth. So don't do it. And I'm not going to do it. No way I'm doing it. I was going to say, you know, if I didn't care about these protocols, I would have said this is smoother than the other one. But I do care about protocols, and I do want to be in with the in crowd. I want to go where the in crowd goes. So you won't hear me saying smooth on the internet. No way, daddy-o. I have standards and all of it. Well, some standards. Okay, now. Considering the thing that I would never mention, makes you wonder, makes you wonder. I feel like going wild in the country where snakes in the grass. All right. Wild, wild in the country. Okay. Getting back to planet Earth now. I think they're both really good. And I'll tell you what, $24 for the Red Bush. If that's the Red Bush. $14.99 for the Drumcastle. $9. Is this a $9 difference? Oh, I don't think so. No, don't believe it is. 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 Now, I didn't pay $24 for the Red Bush because I know you're going to get jealous. I know you're going to get so jealous that you're never going to watch again, because I paid $9.99 plus tax at Savannah Discount. $9.99. Which is a shock and a delight. And I should have bought a whole case. But, you know, what am I going to do with all of that? It's like I could have got this Canadian whiskey for $4.17 a bottle. Could have bought a whole 12 bottles for $50. There's only one little problem. I don't need it. And I don't want it. But they got hoarding people, you know, they're hoarders. They would have bought all of it. And you say, what are you going to do with that? Oh, you never know when you need that. Do you drink Canadian whiskey? Oh, can't stand it. Don't drink any alcohol. Oh, you don't? No, wouldn't dream of it. But you bought 12 bottles of Canadian whiskey to put in your storage room. Well, you never know. Ha ha. Bless your soul. You think you're in control, but I think you. All right. I believe I'm ready. Get ready, because here I come. This is the Red Bush. Is it better than the other one, the Drumcastle? Nah, it isn't better. It's different. It's not better. I wouldn't pay $9 more. No way. I mean, of course, in my case, I didn't pay $9 more. I paid $5 less. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I would buy it theoretically so I could have it to do taste challenges. Like, I bought it. You know, I would have bought it anyway, even at the $24. But I mean, I would have bought it for that, but I didn't, because I got a great deal. All right, so I'm gonna say this is the Red Bush. I don't know. I don't know. They both have a lot of woody flavor. Wine, oak, and oak. That's a heck of a taste challenge. I thought Bushmills was going to run away with the show. I thought it was going to be gangway for Bushmills. But you never know until you try it. And I tried it, and I still don't know. So, oh, well, it's only rock and roll, but I like it. Here we go. It is the Drumcastle. Ha, ha, ha. Did you ever doubt me? I did. But I got it right. So 2 out of 3. I did Bushmills, 3 different versions, or what they call them, expressions. You don't say versions when you're talking about whiskey. Are you insane? You say expressions. And I went up against Drumcastle. I got 2 out of 3 right. Well, that's not too bad. Of course, it should have been 3 out of 3. It's not supposed to be even. It's not supposed to be a contest, but it was, which is a little troubling. All right, now we're off of Irish whiskey for a little while, yo, and I have some more Irish whiskey. I bought it recently at Total Wine and More for $17.99. But that won't be around the bend for a long time. I'm going back to Scotland, to Scotland. I'm going back to Scotland. Yeah, I do think so because I got, yeah, I got the Black Bush. No, what am I saying? George W. Bush, Kate Bush. The Johnny Walker Double Black, man, Double Black for double your fun, double the flavor, double the fun. Johnny Walker Double Black. Are you mad? Are you crazy? That's coming in tomorrow morning. Johnny Walker Double Black versus Johnny Walker Red Label. You say, oh, come on. That's going to be such a joke. It should be a joke. I've seen Johnny Walker Red Label as low as $17.99. But that's not the case anymore with this JB inflation. And I got the Double Black for so very cheap. But my expectation that Double Black's going to win. But the Johnny Walker Red Label is going to hold its own. Once we're finished with the Johnny Walker Double Black Extravaganza, then we're going to do Johnny Walker Gold Label versus everybody else. And that's an expensive whiskey. I say, why are they charging so much for something that tastes so ordinary, just like honey? I like honey. Not an anti-honeyite, but I don't see, I don't know, $50 for, I'm not understanding that whiskey, but it's very nice. It's very nice. But it's going to go up against everybody else, and that'll be exciting. And then we've got Dewar's 15-year age against everybody else. You would think Dewar's would just, you know, blow it apart, but I wouldn't be so sure. Not sure. And then we got Dewar's 18. I know that's going to kill it all. Dewar's 18 is going to whip them all. Well, maybe not Johnny Walker Blue Label, but it's gonna rampage. It's gonna rampage like the Incredible Hulk, and which later was the Rampaging Hulk with the magazine size issues. But oh yeah. You say, oh, I'm so worn out with whiskey. You got me worn out with whiskey. I can't stand hearing about whiskey anymore. Well, after that whole thing is done, we coming in with brandy, then some silver rum. So have no fear. Those things will be here. Okay, this world would be an ugly place if the British would have successfully taken over all the countries they tried to. Oh, you think so? Craft Beer-tastic. They tried to take over Afghanistan. That failed. And then Russia tried it. That failed. Then the United States tried it. That failed. Oh, yeah, Afghanistan. They all flopped. But the British took over a good amount, like more than anybody else ever took over. They got the #1. They got the world's record for the biggest empire with the most people. You say, but that's not really something to be proud of. I didn't say it was. I just say that's what they got. They got the record. The United States got the world's record for the only country to drop atom bombs on civilians. Civilian atom bomb attacks. So is that a record to be proud of? Well, where at least I think I'm free. Okay, Jeep and Foodie says, morning, Ron, checking in. I'm late to the party, well, but you're still here at the party. All right, so very exciting taste challenge, a little bit more difficult than I had expected, for sure, no doubt about it. But I got to say this about Drumcastle. This has got to be the most overachieving Irish whiskey in the world. Because this cheap product with no website, no attention, no advertising, no nothing. Look what it does in the taste challenges. Embarrassing everybody. Up there embarrassing everybody. So that's why you got to try them. You can't just judge them based on their availability, their label, who owns them, what the reviewers say, and all that. You just got to do it yourself. Friar Tuck. Morning, Ron. I don't usually partake in whiskey, but waiting for lawn to dry so I can mow. Oh, yeah, I'm like you. I don't mow wet grass. Can't stand mowing wet grass. It's bad for the mower and it's bad for my life. But does my grass need to be cut today? I guarantee it needs to be cut. And I could start in 20 minutes. It'll be good and dry in 20 minutes. And in an hour, it'd be crispy, dry. But you know what? I'm going to wait till after the big rainstorms come through today and tomorrow. It looks bad. I mean, it's embarrassing, you know. But this new lawnmower is going to cut through it with a vengeance. And on Tuesday is the demarcation time. So, it's going to look ideal after that. Now, anyhow, that's it. And I got so many beers. And ready to drink canned cocktails coming up. It's like a person who's got a bunch of beers and canned cocktails coming up. All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching this video production.